What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. So we are on a bit of a dip today, down 3% about. What we're seeing right now is the bearish divergence on the daily. We have higher highs on price, lower highs on the RSI. Bearish divergence is starting to play out, but the key question is, when has it fully played out? Is it going to cause us to drop below the trend line, or is it going to play out fully by the time we hit the trend line and then we've reset on the RSI and we're ready to go up further? Well, that is to be determined. We'll see how this plays out. How I'm treating this right now is that the trend is my friend. The trend is my friend until the end of the trend, which means we got to hold the trend line. Pretty simple, right? We have the low from the beginning of the year, the next higher low from February 12th, and we are still well above that trend line. From the current price, we have, about 4% to the downside or so. Now, this dip is really not much of a surprise. We talked about this in previous videos. In this video from 5 days ago called Bitcoin Greed is Back, Caution, we talked about a scenario with the S&P. And it's pretty much exactly what's happening right now. So let's play the clip. If the S&P breaks below this pennant, retests the macro resistance as support, and then continues up again, that's when I would be looking for number 2, where we actually do get a retest down, create a longer channel before breaking out. So in this video, the S&P was in that pennant formation, and we were saying that if it dropped like that, then Bitcoin would likely test down to the upward sloping trend line. The S&P has fallen below that pennant, and Bitcoin is getting a pullback, as we discussed. So the scenario that we thought was going to play out in the last video from 5 days ago is playing out right now. So that's interesting to see. Now the S&P, this is really the key thing. The stock market, the S&P 500 here, has to hold this major macro downward sloping resistance line as new support. We had a breakout for the S&P, and we're retesting the previous resistance. So this is the first real retest of the breakout that we've had. And as long as we can hold this and bounce, things can remain very bullish for Bitcoin because the S&P is already testing this resistance zone. We have a couple discrepancies between wicks, so I just made it a little bit of a fatter line. But this is the area that we got to hold. And if the S&P holds this, well, Bitcoin's going to likely hold the trend line, despite if we come down a little bit more, as long as we're above like 22,800, 22,900, as long as we just hold that, then we're probably going to be okay. We can hold the trend line and continue up, right? So if the S&P bounces soon, this is what I expect. Continuation up, and then we can start looking for targets like 26,700, that previous wick low there from 2022. That's the first target above us. And then after that, we have the major support from 2021. This range might be a little bit of an issue for the price, though Bitcoin sometimes surprises us and just cuts through certain resistances like a knife through butter. For example, 2019, everyone thought that 6K 2018 area was going to be major resistance, and Bitcoin just flew straight through it like it didn't even exist. You guys remember that? So you never really know. Is this going to provide a big issue for Bitcoin, or is it going to be like a knife through butter? That's to be determined. Nothing would really surprise me. But the real thing here, guys, I mean, as much as people hate that Bitcoin's correlated to the stock market, this is just how it is. And if you're trading the market, you're not going to trade it correctly unless you're looking at the stock market, because this will determine Bitcoin's trend. If the S&P breaks down from here below that previous macro resistance and can't hold it as new support, and things get super bearish for the stock market again, well, the answer is pretty clear. The trend would break, and the trend is no longer our friend. And that's when something like scenario 3 would end up playing out, right? Because the stock market determines the confidence of speculators in the Bitcoin market. So that is really the key here. So all eyes are on the S&P, guys. This is a very critical moment. For a while, the S&P was kind of just floating up here, just kind of consolidating up there, making it really easy for Bitcoin to be bullish. The S&P is breaking out, kind of just floating up, but now we have the real test. This is the major moment. So just to recap, Bitcoin's still above the trend line. The trend is my friend until the end of the trend, and we still have a lot of room, a little bit of room to move down, a little bit of wiggle room down here to retest the trend line while still maintaining an aggressive bullish posture, right? It's once we start closing dailies below like 23K is when things start to get iffy. So all in all, I mean, Bitcoin's just kind of well within this trend, still has the upside momentum until further notice. We'll see how this RSI, we'll see how the bearish divergence plays out. If we can find a higher low on the RSI above the trend line, that's when I wouldn't be so concerned anymore. That's when you can confirm that the RSI has played out. The bearish divergence has played out is if you see a bounce on the RSI and a bounce in price. I'm very confident that Bitcoin's probably only going to make a move once the S&P decides which way it's going here. So that's it for today. That's pretty much all you need to know. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and also support this channel by using all the links below in the description. You can get $5,000 in trading bonuses with the BitGet link. Join Patreon to see what altcoins I'm interested in. And that's it, guys. I'll see you soon.